Assalamualaikum and welcome back to my video presentation on problem-based learning. In the late 20th century, educators in general and educational futurists in particular start to envision on what will be the 21st century education. Hypotheses were presented and studies were conducted to develop a clear description of the 21st century education. Decades had gone by and now we are already in the third decade of the 21st century. But our discussion is still lingering on this question. What is the 21st century education? By 2016 and 2017, this question is still not silenced, not even after educational futurists start to promote the buzzword of Education 4.0. In fact, this new word is only a new description of the latest trend in the 21st century education. Today, both terms, the 21st century learning and Education 4.0, have become an integral part of educational thinking and planning for the future. Thus, the discussion on the latest and the future trend of education is incomplete without discussing these two concepts altogether. In this brief video presentation, I will be sharing some conceptual understanding of the 21st century learning purposely to identify its connection with Education 4.0 and later with EPBL and PBL 4.0. The idea of what learning in the 21st century should look like is open to interpretation and even controversy. The general concept of the 21st century education often referred to the new advancements in educational technology tools and multiple essential skills and competencies that schools and educational institutions need to introduce to learners to help them thrive in the present day and future challenging world. This general concept pointed towards three main roles in the 21st century learning. One, the role of educational technology and tools. Two, the role of learners and teachers. And three, the role of government institutions and stakeholders. Let us learn something what educational experts and international speakers said about these three main roles in 21st century learning. One, the role of educational technology and tools. Educational technology and tools should be able to enhance the content, better facilitate the learning process, and upgrade the skills. Educators believe that the role of technology in the 21st century learning is to redefine learning through the use of modern technology and application. According to Milton Chan, 21st century learning shouldn't be controversial because it is simply an effort to define modern learning using modern tools. The internet, which has enabled instant global communication and access to information, likewise holds the key to enacting a new educational system. The 21st century learning, according to Barnett Berry, should enhance the use of the virtual tools and open source software to create borderless learning territories for students of all ages, anytime and anywhere. In the 21st century learning, according to Karen Cator, technology allows for 24/7 access to information, constant social interaction, and easily created and shared digital content. Steve Hargaden believed that our old stories of education, which is a factory model, top-down and compliance-driven, are breaking down or broken. And this is because the internet is releasing intellectual energy that comes from our latent desires as human beings to have a voice, to create and to participate. The knowledge-based result look a lot like free market economies or democratic governments. Lionel Manson said 21st century learning as 20th or even 19th century learning, but with better tools. 21st century technology, therefore, should be seen as an opportunity to acquire more knowledge, not an excuse to know less and do more. Two, the role of learners and teachers. In general, learning and teaching should be student-centered, collaborative, and contextual. Among the questions 21st century educators should be asking are: one, what students should do better, demonstrate, and achieve in the learning? Two, what teachers should do to provide a better student-centered, collaborative and contextual learning environment. One, what students should do better, demonstrate and achieve in the learning. Students, according to Sarah Brown Wesling, should be able to synergize the content and the skills. 21st century learning embodies an approach to teaching that marries content to skill. Without skills, students are left to memorize facts, recall details for worksheet, and relegate their educational experience to passivity. Without content, students may engage in problem solving or team working experiences that fall into triviality, into relevance without consistency. Students today will likely have several careers in their lifetime. Therefore, they must develop a strong critical thinking and interpersonal communication skills in order to be successful in an increasingly fluid, interconnected, and complex world. To do that, they should be able to master the learning skills, the skills of learning how to learn. Using their new developed learning skills, according to Barnett Berry, students master the content while producing, synthesizing, and evaluating information from a wide variety of subjects and sources with an understanding of and respect for diverse cultures. They should be able to demonstrate creativity, communication and collaboration, digital literacy, as well as a civic responsibility. Adaptability, complex communication skills, non-routine problem solving, self-management, and system thinking, according to Susan Randall Singer, are essential skills in the 21st century workforce. 21st century learning, according to Milton Chen, builds upon past conceptions of learning as core knowledge in subject areas and recasts them for today's world, where a global perspective and collaboration skills are critical. It is no longer enough to know things. It's even more important to stay curious about finding out things. Students use information at their fingertips and work in teams to accomplish more than what one individual can alone, and mirroring the 21st century workplace. Two, what teachers should do to provide a better student-centered, collaborative, and contextual learning environment. Teachers, according to Susan Randall, should be able to integrate core concepts with key skills to prepare students for the workplace and college. They should move past and beyond a mile wide and inch deep coverage of ever expanding content in the classroom. Developing skills in the context of core concepts is simply good practice. It's time to let go of polarizing debates, consider the evidence, and get to work. Learning in the 21st century education, according to Barnett Berry, demands well-prepared teachers who draw on advances in cognitive science and are strategically organized in teams, in and out of cyberspace. Many will emerge as teacherpreneurs who work closely with students in their local communities while also serving as learning concierge, virtual network guides, gaming experts, community organizers, and policy researchers. In the 21st century learning setting, according to Karen Cato, educators can leverage technology to create an engaging and personalized environment to meet the emerging educational needs of this generation. Since learning is no longer one size fits all or confined to the classroom, teachers should take this opportunity of using technology to enhance students' flexibility learning by focusing on preparing them to be learners for life. Three, the role of government, institutions, and stakeholders. Schools and educational institutions should physically and virtually integrated with local as well as global society and industry. The 21st century learning, according to Steve Hagedorn, will ultimately be learner-driven. Students are largely prepared to drive their own educations, loosely governed and highly self-directed. These teaching and learning activities exist beyond the sanction or control of a formal educational institution. Students in the 21st century learn in a global classroom, and it's not necessarily within four walls. They are more inclined to find information by accessing the internet through cell phones and computers or chatting with friends on a social networking site. Government through education ministry or department and other stakeholders should work collaboratively to provide physical and technical supports as well as better connectivity for students and teachers. This is to ensure students and teachers can access information beyond the classroom. The concept of 21st century learning was discussed decades before we stepped into this century. Education 4.0, however, is a new concept developed in line with Klaus Schwab's IR 4.0 in the second decade of this century, between 2016 to 2017. Since then, Education 4.0 became a buzzword among educators. In the next video presentation, I will try my best to explain the concept and characteristic of Education 4.0 and how it could be used to guide ePBL and PBL 4.0. Till then, thank you very much for your kind attention to my presentation. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like and share this video so others could benefit from it. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.